What if your protein habits are holding you back? Most people eat protein every few hours each day. They believe this approach builds the most muscle possible. But what if that habit is quietly working against you? This sounds counterintuitive, but the science is surprisingly clear. Your muscles can become desensitized to protein over time, just like your body builds tolerance to daily caffeine. Feed your muscles protein constantly and they stop responding. This is called muscle protein synthesis desensitization, a real phenomenon. Researchers have documented this effect across multiple published scientific studies. The way you time protein changes your actual muscle results. This brings us to a powerful concept called protein cycling. Protein cycling mirrors exactly what carbohydrate cycling does so effectively. With carb cycling, you eat fewer carbs on some days. Then you eat more carbs strategically on other training days. This makes your body more insulin sensitive over consistent time. It helps you burn fat while preserving every muscle fiber. Protein cycling works the same exact way with strategic alternation. You alternate between lower and higher protein intake each day. The lower protein periods make your muscles crave amino acids. Your muscles become deeply sensitive and hungry during that period. Then the higher protein period triggers a massive anabolic response. This spike is something you simply cannot achieve any other way. This cycle of sensitizing and spiking makes protein cycling powerful. A study in the journal Physiology proves this exact point. Scientists discovered a fascinating mechanism they named mTOR priming in research. mTOR is essentially your body's chemical switch for muscle growth. When mTOR activates strongly, your muscles build new tissue fast. The goal of protein cycling is to maximize mTOR activation. The study had subjects do resistance training, then consume protein. 3 groups consumed different amounts of protein over 12 hours total. The first group ate 10 grams of protein every 90 minutes. That group totaled 80 grams of protein throughout the entire day. The second group consumed 20 grams of protein every 3 hours. This mirrors the classic bodybuilding strategy most fitness people follow daily. The third group consumed 40 grams of protein every 6 hours. This group created long gaps before receiving a significant protein bolus. You would expect the frequent protein group to win easily, but the results were completely opposite to conventional fitness wisdom entirely. The bolus group showed the highest mTOR activation of all 3. Their muscle protein synthesis signal was significantly stronger across the board, not just in the eating moment, but across the full window. The total cumulative muscle-building signal was greater with strategic spacing. Muscles do not just need protein to arrive at any time. They need to be sensitized before the protein actually arrives. A period of lower protein creates a deep hunger inside muscles. That hunger primes muscles to respond powerfully when protein finally comes. The spike you get is not just bigger but more efficient. Your muscles use more incoming amino acids to build new tissue. Now you might wonder if you can eat 100 grams. Research from 2023 confirmed your body can handle it. The old myth that you can only absorb 30 grams is gone. Your body takes longer with bigger meals, but uses everything fully. A large bolus of protein may actually produce a stronger response. The insulin from a big protein meal drives amino acids directly. Higher muscle protein synthesis rates have been observed after larger doses. So eating 100 grams in one meal is actually smart. This is one of the most liberating nutrition truths you will learn. You do not have to eat every 3 hours at all. You do not need to carry meal prep containers everywhere now. One powerful meal of high-quality protein can replace 6 small ones. But protein cycling goes even deeper than just large single meals. There is a deeper layer involving what happens during protein restriction. What happens is not what most people fear, which is muscle loss. Your body has a survival mechanism that activates when protein drops. This mechanism reduces muscle protein breakdown and protects your hard-earned tissue.
Your body becomes protective of muscle the moment protein intake drops. Researchers studied this exact protection using alternate-day fasting protocols carefully. One group ate just 25% of normal daily calories. The other group ate completely normally without any restriction or changes. The fasting group lost more fat, which makes total logical sense. But the shocking part was what happened to their muscle mass. Both groups preserved the exact same amount of lean muscle tissue. The fasting group had days with almost no protein whatsoever consumed, yet they still kept every single bit of their muscle intact. This proves your body adapts fast and learns to protect muscle. The adaptation does not take weeks or months to fully kick in. It can happen within just 1 or 2 days of restriction. Your muscles switch into a conservation mode where breakdown is minimized. Everything you have built through training becomes tightly protected and preserved. This is why short periods of lower protein do not hurt progress. Your body is working behind the scenes to protect everything built. Another study in the Journal of Translational Medicine reinforced this idea. This study compared time-restricted eating against a normal eating group. Both groups were in a slight calorie deficit targeting fat loss. At the end of 8 weeks, both groups preserved the same muscle, but the time-restricted group lost significantly more total body fat. They lost more fat and kept all their muscle simultaneously too. This shows protein restriction and fat loss can genuinely happen together. Your body does not have to choose between muscle or fat loss. It can achieve both simultaneously with the right protein cycling strategy. That is the real magic behind protein cycling and its results. Now let us talk about the concept called the anabolic rebound. Anabolic rebound is what happens when protein arrives after meaningful restriction. Your muscles, having been in conservation mode, are now fully primed. They are ready to absorb and use every single amino acid. The anabolic rebuilding rate during rebound is significantly higher than baseline. You are not just building muscle at your normal everyday rate, you are genuinely supercharging the entire muscle-building process during rebound. Think of it like pulling back a rubber band really far. The further you pull back, the harder and stronger it snaps. The deeper your protein restriction, the stronger the rebound signal becomes. This is exactly how your body rebuilds and grows stronger cyclically. Here's the beautiful part that most people completely miss entirely. During the low protein phase, you are not just preserving muscle, you are also actively burning extra fat during that restriction phase. Lower protein intake often means lower overall calories in your body. This naturally creates a fat-burning environment throughout that restriction period. During the high protein phase, you rebuild and grow muscle faster. So you lose fat in one phase and build muscle in another. That is why this strategy shrinks belly fat and builds muscle. Most diets force you to choose between fat loss and muscle, but protein cycling lets you achieve both goals simultaneously and intelligently. It works directly with your body's natural adaptive mechanisms every time. Now let us talk about how to implement this in real life. There are a few different approaches depending on your schedule and goals. The first approach is called intraday cycling within a single day.
You start your morning with a lower protein breakfast each day. Something simple like eggs with fruit and toast works perfectly here. Your total protein at breakfast stays moderate, around 20 to 25 grams. Lunch also stays relatively lower in protein throughout the afternoon period. Perhaps a small portion of chicken or some Greek yogurt is fine. By keeping protein lower in the morning, you are sensitizing your muscles. Your muscles are preparing and waiting for the big evening meal ahead. Then, in the evening, you hit your large strategic protein bolus meal, ideally somewhere between 60 and 100 grams in that single meal. This evening meal becomes your muscle-building powerhouse of the entire day. The mTOR signal from this one large meal surpasses 6 smaller meals.
Your muscle-building response is sharper, more powerful, and far more efficient. Another version is to concentrate your protein bolus at lunchtime instead. Keep breakfast lower in protein as you normally would every morning, have a massive protein-rich lunch as your main muscle-building meal, then ease off on protein throughout the rest of your afternoon and evening. By morning, your protein is lower again and your muscles are sensitized. You repeat this same powerful pattern the very next day again. Running this 2-day cycle trains muscles to respond powerfully every day. Your total weekly protein intake does not change at all here. Only the pattern of how it flows throughout the day changes strategically. Within this new pattern, your muscle-building signals are consistently elevated higher. The second approach involves doing a full protein fast 1 day weekly. On your protein fast day, you keep protein very low, around 20 grams. You can still eat your carbohydrates and fats completely normally that day. The next day, after your protein fast, you come back strongly elevated. Your muscles, having been deprived of amino acids, respond with incredible hunger. They absorb protein with remarkable efficiency on that critical rebound day following. The muscle protein synthesis triggered by this rebound can be notably higher. On the rebound day, eat a large bolus combined with resistance training. Training on a protein rebound day is like throwing gasoline on fire. Your muscles are primed, sensitive, and fully ready to grow explosively strong. This powerful combination of fasting, rebound, and training creates the ideal growth environment. Now, what should that large protein bolus actually look like when eating? The best strategy is to combine fast and slow digesting proteins together. Fast digesting protein, like whey, hits your bloodstream quickly after consumption. It triggers an immediate muscle protein synthesis spike right after the meal. Whey is also highly insulin-genic, meaning it drives a strong insulin response. This initial spike opens the door for amino acids to flood muscles. Then you follow the whey shake with slower digesting whole food protein. Ground beef is excellent because it digests slowly and provides sustained delivery. The slow digestion extends your anabolic window by several hours beyond whey. You get the very best of both worlds in one powerful meal. A fast spike followed by a sustained elevated amino acid level afterward. This 2-stage protein delivery maximizes muscle protein synthesis for hours sustained. The combination is far more powerful than either whey or beef alone. Think of whey as lighting the fire and beef as keeping it burning. Together, they create a complete anabolic stimulus that lasts genuinely long and strong. Other excellent protein sources for your bolus include steak, salmon, and chicken. Cottage cheese contains casein, which is the slowest digesting protein from food. Adding cottage cheese extends the amino acid delivery window even further overnight. This makes cottage cheese excellent for maximum overnight protein delivery and muscle repair.
Protein quality matters just as much as protein quantity during proper cycling. Whole food complete proteins like beef, eggs, fish, and poultry outperform processed sources. These whole foods provide not just amino acids, but also critical micronutrients. Zinc from beef supports testosterone production, which is a primary anabolic hormone. Iron from red meat supports oxygen delivery to muscles during every training session. Prioritize whole food proteins during your bolus meals and use whey supplementally. Does protein cycling change the total amount of protein you should eat? No, your total daily protein target stays exactly the same, regardless, always. For most active people, this sits between 0.8 and 1 gram. You are not reducing your weekly protein, only redistributing it more intelligently. That redistribution creates the cycling effect that drives both muscle growth and fat loss. You are simply using the same protein far more effectively and strategically. Think of it as a completely free upgrade to your existing protein strategy. Your carbohydrate intake around your bolus meal can significantly amplify muscle building. When you eat carbs alongside your bolus, you spike insulin powerfully high.
Insulin acts like a delivery truck, transporting amino acids directly into hungry muscles. Include rice, sweet potatoes, oats, or fruit with your large protein meal. This carb and protein combination creates an ideal hormonal environment for maximum synthesis. On lower protein days, you can reduce carbs slightly to accelerate fat loss. This creates a double calorie deficit on lower protein days for faster results. Then on bolus days, you refeed with both protein and carbs powerfully. This synchronized cycling of protein and carbs is a powerful body recomposition strategy. It lets you lose fat and gain muscle together, which seems impossible normally. But the science clearly shows protein cycling makes it entirely and genuinely possible. Sleep is one of the most important factors in making cycling work. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone and maximizes muscle synthesis. If you are not sleeping 7 to 9 hours, cycling loses effectiveness. Poor sleep raises cortisol, which breaks down muscle and undermines everything built. Get your sleep sorted before worrying about any meal timing strategies ever. Sleep will always give you the single biggest return on your effort. Stress management is also critical when you are cycling protein strategically daily. High stress hormones work directly against your muscle building goals every day. Chronic elevated cortisol makes muscles break down faster during restriction phases, especially. Manage your stress through walking, meditation, or breathing exercises consistently and regularly. The lower your chronic stress levels, the more powerfully cycling will work. Hydration matters far more than most people ever realize for protein utilization. Dehydration reduces blood flow to muscles and slows amino acid delivery significantly. Drink plenty of water throughout the entire day, especially around your bolus meal. Staying well hydrated ensures your body can efficiently deliver amino acids to muscles. Training intensity on your bolus protein days should always be significantly higher. Schedule your hardest and heaviest training sessions on your highest protein intake days. This alignment maximizes the anabolic environment created by both training and nutrition together. On lower protein days, do lighter training, mobility work, or take a rest day. This smart synchronization of training and cycling creates the ideal recomposition environment daily. Progressive overload in the gym remains completely non-negotiable through this entire process. Your muscles grow because they are continuously forced to adapt to increasing demands. Protein cycling enhances your response to training, but it cannot replace the stimulus.
Keep adding weight, reps, or volume consistently over time without ever stopping progression. The cycling will amplify every single bit of progress you consistently make. Now let us talk about how protein cycling connects to powerful longevity research. Researcher Walter Longo has spent decades studying fasting and protein restriction effects. His work shows that periods of protein restriction trigger a process called autophagy. Autophagy is your body's cellular cleaning process where old, damaged components are removed. This remarkable process has been linked to reduced disease risk and longer life. When you go through a low-protein phase, you may be triggering autophagy. That means protein cycling is not just good for your muscles and physique. It may also genuinely support your overall longevity and internal cellular health together. You are not just building a better body on the outside through cycling, you are also upgrading and cleaning your cells powerfully on the inside too. The low-protein phase actively cleans your cells and removes old, damaged components. The high-protein phase then rebuilds and grows your muscles back even stronger. This powerful dual benefit makes protein cycling one of the smartest nutritional strategies available. Look at the strongest and most muscular people you know and observe carefully. Most of them are not eating carefully portioned meals every 3 hours daily. They eat big when they're genuinely hungry and keep it simple.
They eat whole food protein and stay remarkably consistent with that approach. They naturally create the protein cycling pattern without ever knowing the scientific term. They are not enslaved to counting macros or obsessively timing every gram eaten. They eat completely intuitively, and that intuition aligns with what science actually shows. Now you understand the exact science behind their consistent and impressive results. You can apply it intentionally, starting right now, without stumbling into it accidentally. You do not have to discover the right pattern through years of experience. You can start applying the clear principles of protein cycling deliberately and immediately. The knowledge you now have about mTOR priming is genuinely transformative and powerful. This is not bro science or random advice from random corners of the internet. This is peer-reviewed research published in respected scientific journals around the world. The evidence base behind protein cycling is growing rapidly and becoming impossible to ignore. Protein cycling represents a natural evolution of how we think about strategic nutrition. It moves us beyond obsessively counting grams per meal every few hours daily. It moves us toward actually understanding how our body works and adapts naturally. Your body is not a simple machine demanding constant protein every few hours. Your body is a dynamic, adaptive system that responds powerfully to strategic patterns. Work with those natural adaptive systems instead of endlessly fighting against them daily. Stop fighting your biology and start working with it to achieve real results. You can genuinely shrink belly fat and build muscle at the exact same time. Start today by identifying your next protein bolus meal and planning around it. Plan your lower protein phase carefully around that upcoming high protein bolus meal. The results will speak completely for themselves once you honestly commit to this. Commit to this strategy for 4 to 6 weeks without doubting or quitting. Your body will respond, your muscles will grow, and your belly fat will shrink. That is the real power of understanding the science and applying it intentionally.